You know what, Ripken does it right. You know, they take a back seat to nobody, and we've been to some top level tournaments, whether it's been in Iowa, Kentucky, all over. And Ripken does it like no one else. They roll out the red carpet and they make you feel welcome. Everyone that you come in contact here, you know, they're showing you where the fields are. They bring you in, they speak to you, they tell you what to expect, and their people are accessible. I tell you what, the atmosphere gives the boys the feeling, as well as the coaches, of being in the big leagues. You know, you show up at Fenway Park or Yankee Stadium or Wrigley, which is, you know, where we're from Chicago. You know, you show up and you see Wrigley or Memorial, and the boys get to go out there and play on that turf. And with that atmosphere, that environment of being in the big leagues, you know, it gives them a little taste of it, because for many, and you're not going to ever make it to the show, but you're at the show for this moment at this time. Well, the Cal Seniors Yard is unlike any field that you'll play on at the 11-year-old, 12-year-old, or 13-year-old level. Usually you play on a field like this where you're in college or at the pros, just with that type of surface, with this type of environment, the stadium seating, all that goes with it, the announcing, the scoreboard, just everything that gives you that feeling of being in the pros, where you're lining up on those dugout steps and running up inning after inning to take the field. There's no lack of hustle once you reach this diamond. You can see guys hustling on and off the field just because they realize that playing this game of baseball is a privilege. Look where I am. I mean, they have the feeling that I've arrived when you step out on the field. You know, I think you look forward to just the atmosphere and the environment when you're coming out to play. You know, the feeling of being in the big leagues. You know, the boys are on their own somewhat. We've got a package where the boys are on their own, and it's, you know, that's even part of the experience, whether or not you're going to do the package where you're on your own or with the accommodations or the non-accommodations. And you know, we selected the accommodations just for the experience of the boys being able to experience being on their own, and then doing it the way the big leaguers would do it, having to show up together. You're staying at the same locations. You know, you're staying in the rooms with one another. You have your roommate, and then you show up at the ballpark just like the pros do. You know, that experience is, I think it's invaluable, because the boys are becoming young men at this point. Well, it gives them a chance to bond and to get to grow and know one another. It gives them the chance to make decisions, their own decisions. You know, when you're showing up, you have to get up. You know, you have a certain time that you need to go to sleep, a certain time you need to wake up. You have to get your own uniform together, because we as parents normally line all that up for the boys. You know, we make sure that they have it all together, but now they're having to do it on their own with the help, with the aid of maybe their coaches. You're going to the cafeteria, you have to keep up with your, you know, your key card that gives you access to the cafeteria. You know, you have to go through the line. It's a great learning experience, you know, from the moment when they have to take their tray back and when they don't know where to put it, you know, as far as busting their own table. So the experience is, I think, invaluable. The people. The people are what makes Ripken baseball. The stadium, the facility is second to none, but there are great facilities around the country. What it really comes down to is the people that work for Ripken, the people that make it better than what it already is. So I think it's the people, the way that we've been ushered around, the way that we've been helped while we've been here. There's no question that hadn't been answered when it comes to something that we may need as a team. Every need has been met with a smiling face. So that it's the people that will keep others coming to Ripken.